All right, so it's that time of year again, isn't it? The air is just buzzing with ambition, with the promise of a new you. We set these massive, exciting New Year's resolutions, totally fired up and ready to conquer the world. But if we're being honest with ourselves, we all kind of know how this story usually ends, right? So, what's the deal? Why does that incredible burst of motivation almost always seem to fizzle out for, well, pretty much everyone by the time February rolls around? Is it just that we all collectively lose our willpower? Or is there something fundamentally broken about the way we approach this whole thing? Let's dig in. Okay, first up, let's talk about what I call the January 1st illusion. It's this powerful belief that a specific date on a calendar holds some kind of magical power to just transform us overnight. But what if that idea is the very first trap we all fall into? And look, the numbers here are, well, they're pretty brutal. Study after study shows a huge percentage of resolutions get abandoned within just a few weeks. But here's the thing you really need to get. If almost everyone is struggling, the problem probably isn't you. It's the playbook we're all using. And it makes total sense why we fall for this. Our brains are literally wired to crave that fresh start feeling. The idea of a clean slate is so liberating, isn't it? It lets us mentally box up all our past mistakes and imagine this perfect future self. It's a super powerful and tempting idea. So, this whole fresh start thing, it's not just some vague feeling. It's actually tied to a real psychological concept called mental landmarks. And this is the real engine driving all of that New Year's hype. Okay, so what exactly is a mental landmark? Well, think of it like this. It's any big date or event that our brain uses to draw a line in the sand. It separates the old me who, didn't exercise from the new me who is definitely going to. It creates a clean break, a before and an after. And once you start looking for these, you see them everywhere. January 1st is the big one, obviously. But how many times have you said or heard something like, I'll start my diet on Monday. I'll finally get organized after my birthday. Things will be different once I get back from vacation. We're constantly using these future dates to put off taking action right now. And this right here, this is the fatal flaw in the whole approach. See, the motivation isn't internal, it's completely external. It's tied to a page on a calendar. So what happens when the calendar flips to January 2nd, or to that Tuesday after your Fresh Start Monday? The magic of the date just evaporates, and usually the motivation goes right along with it. Okay, so if that whole approach is broken, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to something way more powerful, the system-driven mindset. This is how people who actually make long-term changes think, and trust me, it has absolutely nothing to do with what the calendar says. A system-driven mindset completely flips the script. Instead of staring at some huge far-off finish line like lose 20 pounds, you get totally obsessed with building a tiny, repeatable process. Something like, I will walk for 15 minutes every day after lunch. See the difference? It's all about the process, not the prize. And when you put these two ways of thinking next to each other, man, the difference is just night and day. On one side, motivation is external, tied to the date. The focus is on the finish line, and its fuel, just a quick burst of inspiration. The result, almost always burnout. Now, look at the other side. The motivation is internal. It comes from doing the process itself. The focus is just on the very next step. The fuel isn't inspiration, it's daily consistency. And the result, that's where you get real, sustainable progress. And this gets us to the absolute core principle of a system-driven life. It's simple, but it's everything. It's all about valuing consistency way more than you value intensity. Just look at this chart here. That crazy, intense burst of effort you have in the first week of January, that's the tall, skinny bar. It's a huge push, but it's totally unsustainable. Consistency, on the other hand, is that longer, lower bar. It might not look as dramatic day to day, but look at the total area. The amount of work you get done over time is just so much greater. Small, steady efforts will beat short, heroic bursts every single time. So how do you actually do this? How do you build a system? Well, it's pretty simple. First, you define the absolute smallest, tiniest repeatable action you can think of. Seriously, not write a book, but write one sentence. Not get fit, but put on your running shoes and walk out the door. Step 2, you focus only on repeating that tiny action. Don't even think about the big goal. Just do the thing. And finally, you have to detach from the outcome and just trust the process. Let that simple repetition do the heavy lifting for you. It'll compound over time, I promise. There's this amazing quote that just nails this whole idea perfectly. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. I mean, think about that. Your goals are just wishes floating out there. Your systems, that's your floor. That's what you can rely on when motivation is long gone. That's your true baseline. So the big takeaway here isn't just to make better goals. No. It's about changing where your power comes from entirely. It's about building your own internal engine for progress. You can think of a mental landmark like January 1st as the starting pistol for a race. It's this loud, exciting bang that gets you off the blocks, but it gives you zero fuel for the actual race. A system, on the other hand, is the engine. It's the thing you build, piece by piece, that actually powers you forward, day in and day out, no matter what the calendar says. So I'm going to leave you with a direct question. What is the one tiny, repeatable system you could start right now? I'm not talking about next Monday, not January 1st, I mean today, right now. What is the first small gear you can click into place in your engine this very minute? Because at the end of the day, the point isn't to just accomplish one thing and then dust off your hands and be done. The real goal isn't to cross some imaginary finish line. The real goal is to build an engine for yourself, an engine of continuous progress that just keeps on running long after all the New Year's hype has completely disappeared.